with the final paper, there are several things that you need to do. So the first thing is that you should have all received one of these documents, the final paper requirements. So for the final paper, you must do the following. 1, integrate the quotes into your paper and then refer to the quote integration notes. This was the lesson from yesterday. And then this is where you can put a little check mark saying that you have done all of these things. Then the second thing is to make sure that you keep the labels on your paper. Then the third thing is to include a works cited page with the correct format. And then the fourth thing is to highlight the following. So the first thing to highlight is your claim in red, main point 1 in blue, main point 2 in purple, main point 3 in green, and the evidence in yellow with the reasoning underlined. Then you need to submit your paper into Utah Compose after you have done all of these things. Submit it to Utah Compose. A score out of 25 will be contributed to the final paper. Then submit your paper to the argumentative paper. Turn it in Canvas. A paper will not be graded until this step is complete. And then submit your paper to argumentative paper final in Canvas. And then again, this box is to use as a checklist. Okay, so you should all do these things, but let me show you what this will look like. So here is my outline that I have, that I wrote on. So what I need to do is make sure that my quotes are how I want them. I have my citations correct. I have my labels still in there. Again, I can go through where I didn't do a third piece of evidence. I can go through and delete those out since I didn't do those. And then make sure that my quotes are all good and that I have all of the components that I need to on here. And again, please, please, please make sure that you include the background information on there as well. In the past, we've had a lot of students who have not included that. The next thing that I want you to make sure that you have is with your reasoning, that your reasoning explains your quote and then it ties it back to the main point and the claim. Okay, so once you feel good with your outline, then what you're going to do is go through and include the highlights. So anytime you see the word that ties to your claim, highlight that in red. So every time I see red, that's when I know that I am talking about my claim. So I've gone through and I've done that on these. Then make sure that your first main point is highlighted in blue. So every time you see the blue, that's talking about my first main point. Then highlight your second main point in purple. So every time you see purple, that's talking about my second main point. And then your third main point should be highlighted in green. So every time you see green, I'm talking about my third main point. Then my evidence, all of my evidence, whether it's paraphrased, summarized, or a direct quote, needs to be highlighted in yellow. So I should have at least 2 yellow highlight sections in each of my main body paragraphs. Okay. Then I need to underline where it is talking about where I am explaining my quote. Okay, so underline where I explain my quote. And again, with your reasoning, you need to tie it back to your main point and claim as well. So once you've done that, and once you feel good about that, make sure you also include a works cited. You can use this works cited as an example. Yours will be very similar. The only difference you will have is author's first and last name, the title of the document, and then the date that it was accessed. Other than that, yours should be similar unless you use 12 Angry Men. Then if you have questions after you've used the MLA quick reference sheet and you're still confused by it, just let me know and I can help, or one of your teachers can help you with that. So once you are good with your final paper, then you are going to log into Utah Compose, and if you need your Utah Compose login information, let your teacher know and they can get that to you. And then you are going to go into Canvas, and you need to first submit your paper into the argument paper, turn it in. Once you have your score for that, then you're going to turn it into the argument paper final. And remember that this paper is worth 280 points. So please make sure that you get it in on time and that you have all of the components done and accurate.